Mr. DeShaun Williams is running for a school board position in GWD52, that's 96, and he has an election coming up on Tuesday of this week. So we have school board elections happening next week. Ladies and gentlemen, warm round of applause and a great welcome for Mr. DeShaun Williams.
Good morning. So a little bit about myself. I am born and raised here in Greenwood County. Stay in 96, South Carolina, most of my life, well, all of my life. And, I actually graduated from 96 back in 2016. So I'm going on 6 years of being out of school. And one thing that I saw when I was in school was that our school board members never walked the school. We didn't know who they were. We didn't know their names. And they never came in to ask us what did we want changed, what could be better, and what did we not like. And I feel like that's one thing as a school board member and candidate it should be focused on. What is something that you want changed and what is something that needs to be changed and what's not working so that we can change it. And over the past few years, since 2019, I've actually been running for school board, and I have lost tremendously during those years. The first year getting less than 2% of the vote, with last year getting less than 10% of the vote. This year, however, I've made it my decision that I will do anything rightfully to make sure that I get one of those seats. And I've been asked to share a little bit about my story and why this means so much to me. So, graduated in 2016, but I was told you can't make a career and you cannot be successful in life if you did not go to college. Fun fact, nobody in my family has ever graduated from college, not even me. I'm a 5-time college dropout. But the one thing about it is I still made a name for myself and I still became successful. I'm a mindset strategist at Start Your Spark Coaching, which is my business under the name DeShaun Williams Industries, LLC, where I help young adults between the ages of 18 to 24 improve their mindset so that they can achieve their goals, whether they have been to college or not. One of the biggest things that I see is life can teach you a lot. It can teach you a lot more than what a college degree sometimes can. But enough about me. Let's move on to what I want changed in the school. When COVID first hit back in 2020, we all know that the schools was given so much money to bring in what was needed to make sure that when they came back, they could have the filtration and make sure that everyone was safe. Going over the record books and the notes from 2020 up until now, there is no notation of what that money was spent on. And that's something that needs to be documented. That's money that was not accounted for. It was spent somewhere else, but not where it was supposed to be spent. Also, with the rise of suicide and mental health, we need to get more mental health counselors in the schools. It's nice to have guidance counselors, but we need to have those mental health counselors as well. Because a guidance counselor can only do what's in their job description, guide to the next level, where a mental health counselor can come in and sit with a student and talk to them about what is bothering them and what needs to be done so that they can overcome what's holding them back. But also, we need to get our youth to know that their lives and their stories matter the most. Why does it matter? Because as a candidate, I come from a place where I tried to commit suicide in 2018. And that story is enough to let everyone know I care about who you are and what you've been through. And we want to make sure that your voice is heard. I always remember hearing during all the past elections, we need more bus drivers. Yes, we do need more bus drivers. But if we don't have the teachers and the staff there at the school, what is the purpose of having more bus drivers at the moment? Our teachers are so underappreciated, and I feel as if they are not paid enough for what they do. It's nice to have a teacher appreciation week, but they deserve more than a week. We need to appreciate our teachers and our staff year-round for everything that they do, the time they spend away from their families, pouring in to others' kids. So my main focus for running for school board is to make sure that our teachers and staff get the appreciation that they deserve, and making sure that our students get the education and determination and the motivation that they deserve as they move into each new level of their life.
That was a good drop mic moment. Well done. All right, so at this time, are you up for entertaining any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, who has a question for Mr. Williams? Right over here.
Not just a question, but a comment. Mr. Williams, I do applaud you for running for School District 52. I am actually not born and raised in Greenwood. My wife was. She attended and graduated 96 schools, and she has said countless times that 96 school district was one of the more recognized and one of the more, it was one of the more preferred school districts to send kids to for years, because they had superior teachers and superior staff and faculty. I heard what you said as far as teacher appreciation. What are you planning on doing as far as pushing an increase in teacher salaries where they could maintain a living wage to support their families, and at the same time provide the stellar service and stellar education to our school kids in District 52?
So to answer that question, as a mindset strategist, one of my things is strategize. So go over the budget to see where can some funds be moved over to help get the teachers and the staff at more material and supplies that they need to educate our students. But also, as a former student, I remember us getting teachers from Greenwood that taught the STEMS program, and they tried to bring that to 96. When you have kids that are not used to the STEM program, you have to ease that into the education system. So we need to make sure that when we bring on teachers, they understand that, hey, not everyone is used to the STEM program. This is how we're gonna ease it into our system. This is how we're gonna ease it into the way that our children are learning.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Morton. I am a school counselor, and I didn't want to ask a question. I just want to back up something that he is saying about counselors. We also have, I can't remember what it's called, but we have like a rights and responsibilities that we have to follow. And we are often in schools where we're only supposed to be over a certain amount of students, but we have way more students than that. And since the pandemic, we have been asked to listen to videos. They are kind of getting us to the point where, like he said, they want us to do some of the duties of a mental health counselor, and that's beyond our rights and responsibilities. And a lot of the workshops I go to, the buzzword now is social emotional learning. But when you listen to it, it sounds more like something that a mental health counselor would do. That's not something that I learned when I went to college to become a school counselor. And when I listen to it, it's like now they're trying to blur that line between school counselor and mental health counselor.
They want you to do two jobs.
Right, they want us to do, right. And some of the students, where I am now, I don't have a lot of that, but when I was at the elementary level, a lot of the students that came in there, I cannot handle what their problem, I'm supposed to refer out. There were times when, and then I'll have a seat, there were times when there are students with IEPs, and if you don't know what that is, individual education plan, and the counselor was put into the IEP to counsel them so many minutes a month or a week, depending on the student and what the problem was. And a lot of times we weren't even invited to the IEP meeting. We were just handed a piece of paper telling us this is what this child's problem is, and we need for you to visit with this child so many minutes a month. And so we have no, we didn't even have a seat at the table so that we could understand what the child's problem was and why we were supposed to be meeting with them. We just had to go by what was on the paper. So he is correct in saying that we need more mental health counselors, or either you need to send us back, like I said, if the funds are available. I mean, I'm willing to go back and be trained, but I'm not currently trained, but you want me to do that job. So he is correct in what he just said.
Thank you for that. We have time for another question or two. Any others? We do have one. Hold on.
I just want to say thank you for bringing that up about mental health, because a lot of us sort of ignore it, act like it doesn't exist. I've been made aware during COVID that there were a lot of people, not just children, students. A lot of people need help, and you should not be ashamed of it. So what I'm saying to you is, this is not just the school's problem. It's a problem that the social services agency, and most of all, our dear lawmakers. What you probably want to do is find out how much mental health services have been cut out. Find out what is actually available in your community. And I think you'll find that not enough is available. So I think this is a systemic problem that the community needs to address. I've taken additional classes myself when they have been made available, so I will know what signs to look at. And we need to have more of that. Our local United Way has offered some classes. But thank you for bringing that up. And also your story, that's a real story. I don't know it, but I'm sure there are other stories out there. So as a community, we need to be active, proactive on that subject of mental health.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Audrey.
Good morning. My name is Shandell All. And first of all, I would like to encourage you, DeShaun. My father, his name was Howard All. He was a high school dropout, but in 1974, he got elected to the Greenwood School District School Board. So don't give up, okay? And then I started thinking about, well, I hear what everyone is saying, I understand, but I live in Greenwood County. Other than helping to fund your campaign, what can I do to help you?
It's actually a good question because I never thought that far. along with being a candidate, I'm also I'm a advocate for the American Foundation Suicide Prevention. I'm a field advocate for the state of South Carolina. So helping get the word out about mental health, and just whether I win this election or not, I will continue to do what I stand for. So just ultimately supporting me with everything that I'm doing.
Thank you, DeShaun. One more time for the bravery of this candidate. Thank you, DeShaun, for running. I always hear, probably the most common comment I hear is, we need to get more young people involved. And what better way to get them involved than by running for office and supporting those endeavors? So, DeShaun, you've got my vote, man, but I don't live in your district, unfortunately. But those who are in that 96 realm, please get out on Tuesday. Now, these school board elections tend to be voted on by, 24 people, right? 36 people. They don't get a huge turnout in May. So all it takes is one household at the end of the block. They all show up, their candidate wins. That's all it takes. So if you are in that 96 school board district, please get out on Tuesday. The people here alone may be able to bring him into office. And secondly, there's 4 candidates running for 2 seats, if I have that correct. So there could be a very good chance that he can win. If everybody coalesces around DeShaun, and then the other 3 are splitting the votes among themselves, you can find yourself in the top 2 very easily. So we wish you the best.